Hey, Corky here. Hope you all are doing well today. It's been raining like crazy here in Alabama, and it seems to have stopped right now, but it rained for a couple of days solid. Um, I want to talk about music as a river. Now, I'm an educator, so there are going to be these talks. Um, I realize after I do a YouTube video teaching, say, a song or a particular technique, and I go look at the other videos that, mine are going to be different than other guys because my approach to music is different than other people. I don't intend when I get on the YouTube video to teach everybody the perfect notes, how they're played, um, like some people do. They want to absolutely do a perfect job. And I just don't live in a perfect world, and so I don't um, try to do that. So if you're expecting me, and I've had people, not many, but some people, correcting me, saying, "Oh, you played that thing wrong. You played that," and I just, I don't care because music has so many functions for me uh, that to be able to perfectly reproduce a a song like some artist plays it, to me, that's not that creative. Now, you may call that a cop out and say, oh, you're just not doing the hard work. Well, I work hard in a lot of ways, but I don't, perfection's not something that I'm striving for. I want to play music for other reasons. So I want to talk about the river of music because music's like a river. First of all, I want to say that the adage, music is a universal language, I don't adhere to that. I don't like that because I don't think it's a universal language. I think there are many different languages in music. If you don't believe that, you Southern guitar players try to learn Indian sitar, and you're going to find out it's a totally different language. So, the world of languages is a part of the diversity of our world. And it's what characterizes us, it's what distinguishes us from each other. And each individual language of each individual people group, you know, that language bears their culture, their worldview is inherent within it. So uh, I don't think music's a universal language. The second thing I don't adhere to is this whole talk about talents. Say, oh, you're so talented, or she's so talented. I mean, I use that phrase when I don't want to use another phrase, but I just think it's a lot of passion that makes people great, and whether they have any, inherent special abilities that give them an edge to where they can excel in that, maybe it's there, maybe it's not. Uh, I just have seen a lot of people who I didn't think had a lot of natural talents, if you want to call them that, who applied themselves and spent time working at it. And because of the passion that caused them to do it, they overcame it. So, but anyway, this is going to sound like grumpy old man rant or whatever, but these are, I think, important things to be said. So the music's like a river, and it's like a river in so many ways. Now, I'm only a couple of hours, a little over a couple of hours from the Mississippi River where I'm sitting right now. I'm super proud of that. And when I pass away, I intend for my son in law to put my ashes in that river so I can sail down through by New Orleans and going out in the Gulf. So I have a special appreciation and devotion to rivers. You know, not a really good fisherman, but have caught, you know, rainbow trout in a river. And the Mississippi River is just it's a big part of the culture of this area of the United States. And I'm happy, so happy to be living so near it right now. Um, so the river, uh, you know, is a place of social activity. Let's all go down to the river. There's a man walking on the water. Let's all go down. You know, uh, I went down, you know, to the river and got baptized. So people gather around rivers. Um, there are river bend festivals, so forth. So it's a social activity. The river is it even though it's passing by, flowing by. Um, Most of the major cities are built on rivers, and the reason they were probably primarily was economic, transportation reasons. Uh, but people gather, cities gather around rivers, and music's the same way. Uh, Most all the social gatherings in our communities worldwide uh, include music. Music is a major part of it, whether it's a birthday party, ball game, uh, you know, church service. People get together, they always sing or play music. The river has a pleasant view. It's a beautiful thing. To many artists have painted landscapes of rivers because the river is a, you know, source of life. So therefore, it's a pleasant view, and this kind of speaks to the activity of music listening, which I don't want to diminish the practice of music listening. It's good for you, makes people happy. Uh, it reminds them of positive experiences in the past. Um, it is music listening is just a great thing. You know, now when you're a an active musician, as I am, sometimes when the music comes on in the restaurant and so forth, it's distracting to me because when I hear different instruments, I'm reminded of different technicalities in the music. And so you would think that I would sit and listen to music a lot, but I actually only listen to a few hours of music a week. I'm spending more time playing music during the week than I am actually listening to music because once that music comes on, it gets my attention and I'm thinking about, you know, is that Joe Osborne on bass? I think it was, or is that Carol Kay on bass, or was that, you know, who was that? And I know so many stories, being old guy, about these songs that when the song comes on the radio, now I do listen to radio. I know a lot of people don't listen to radio these days. I still listen to FM radio, oldie station, because you know my heroes are all on there. Okay, so it's a pleasant view, music listening. Also, a river is a playground. People go swimming in a river, canoeing. It's a place to play, you know, like people take a picnic down by the bank of the river and then the kids go out there, throw rocks like my grandsons love to do. Just heave the biggest rock in there that you can find or try to skip a rock across the river. Um, I'm particularly referring to rivers here because it's moving, and I'm going somewhere with that idea, and that's not a static lake, you know. Um, but it is a playground, and music is a playground. I'm for one wanting to put the word play back in play in music because the average person, uh, you know, doesn't play in music. And if you're not an athlete, you definitely need to be playing music. Um, One of the great needs of the world is just for people who are not dedicated musicians just to be able to play an instrument, um, because it's great fun. It is fun. Music is fun. Um, a river is also a racetrack. People have competitions, races down rivers. Um, I don't know too much about that because I'm not in sports that much, but I know that they do. And on YouTube, that's one of the primary things that music educators do on YouTube is to try to compete with other, uh, you know, musicians as to who can do the best job on teaching a certain song. And then they use all these slogans criticizing the other one. How to play Layla wrong and things like that. And that's just a lot of competition, things that I'm not interested in. Um, a river is also an industrial site. Uh, as I stated earlier, one of the main reasons that rivers uh, have large cities built around them is because of shipping goods. And then you watch the old cowboy movies, and they'll be talking about a whiskey boat, and that's about making money. And one of the earliest forms of transportation in this country was on rivers by boat, um, to ship goods to make money for economic reasons. And there are people that only are committed to music for economic reasons. They want to make a lot of money. And everything that they do in music is guided by this desire to somehow make a living at it so they can quit another job. And I have never been one to, you know, get all obsessed with making a living at music because when something is paying your salary, it can be a burden. And music's just not a burden to me. It's a free expression of my life. Um, Rivers have healing properties. Probably, there are doctors that have prescribed for people to go to rivers, and there's I know in the Native American context there are a lot of rivers that have healing properties, spiritually and physically. Um, I'm not very far from the Tennessee River that runs through Muscle Shoals in that area up here, and uh, they call it the Singing River. And there's all kinds of healing stories of the, Chickasaw, Choctaw, Creek Indians, Yuchi Indians, and the blessing of that portion of the Tennessee River, that it's a singing river, that it's a source of healing and spirituality. Music in the same way, music therapy, because music comes in a different side of the brain than many other cognitive activities, it can jumpstart a brain. It may not totally heal the brain, but we have seen nonverbal patients become verbal in music context. So music has a healing property to it. We know that. It goes back thousands of years. A river can be a fishing hole. And there are people that are doing that with music. They're using music as an opportunity to somehow discover something or catch something they need. They're always fishing around in music to try to find, the lost chord or something. So you can fish in music. I mean, you can poke around and look for things and bring them out. Just like a bigger part of my life, I served English gypsy people here in the United States. And so when I was looking at the mandolin family, I discovered gypsy mandolin music. And so I particularly uh, sought it out, the mandola and things like that. And I'm going to be sharing that soon because I've ordered a mandola and I'm going to be playing it in a mandolin ensemble. Um, the river is also a means of transportation, and we know how the blues music came up the Mississippi River, made its way up to Chicago, and all them places. Uh, and we know that how about the river boats and about the flatboats and all of the ways it took you somewhere. Well, music is also a river in that way. Music will take you places. Music, because of my music, I got to go to Uruguay. Um, Also, right now, Hindustani classical music in India, because I'm learning the sitar. It's taking me to India. It's immersing me in a dimension of the culture there. So the sitar is going to transport me to India. I just hadn't got there yet. Um, the river is a place of communication. Uh, the mail traveled by river and probably still does in a lot of places. Um, Music is also a form of communication, like protest music. These things are real important functions of music. The way that the Christian gospel is communicated through music. It's one of the ways that people learn things. If you study music history, you can learn just a lot about history itself. Then music is spiritual. Uh, I think everybody knows that. And music has a way of reaching into, you know, the realm of the unknown. It has a mystical dimension to it. Um, and so, the major religions, they all work in music, except for maybe Church of Christ. And they work in music, but just vocal music. Some of them. And some of them are instrumental. Um, and then finally, music is educational, teach you. They say that people that are good in music, well, it'll help you in your math. And I wouldn't know too much about that because I have never hit it off with a number yet. Like Neil Young says, numbers add up to nothing for me. Um, but anyway, I have learned a lot about life through music, and I have learned about team building. I've learned about um, how to interact with the public. I have learned just a lot about humanity uh, through music. So, music is a river. These are some thoughts. I hope it's helpful to somebody, and I hope you have a good day.